Amanda the stylist. Just wanted to come on here and say that Alamo Styles is looking for a braider to join our team. I have one booth available. If you are interested, or if you know someone that is interested in joining a salon setting, ready to expand your wings and get a booming clientele, or if you're that braider who has a clientele and looking for a new salon home, we have great parking, plenty of great vibes. We have 7-day-a-week access if you need us to braid on Sunday and Monday. That can be done at Alamo Styles. So if you're interested, let me know. Hit me up. We would love to have you a part of the team.
I truly love Amanda. It's empty right now. Lost for words.
That's Amanda right there.
I've been knowing Amanda for at least 30 years. And we've been friends, buddies, from the day I met her. Just the little things that I'm gonna miss. So much love.
It's gonna be hard. It's definitely gonna be hard. Knowing that we was a family and a team, no matter what. We was always a family.
You know, she's such a positive person, such a caring person. You can't say enough about how special she was to the community, to her friends, to her sorority sisters, to me.
The community is rallying and demanding justice for a local woman shot and killed inside her Warrensville Heights home. Carmen Blackwell is joining us live from the Justice Center, where they've been putting pressure on the prosecutor's office.
How does a loving mother, successful businesswoman, and trusted friend end up paralyzed, shot 8 times, and left to die in her own home by the man she once planned to marry? What made him pull the trigger 6 times? Why didn't he help her? Why did he stop her own daughter from saving her? And if he claimed she attacked him with a knife, how could that be true when one of the bullets left her completely paralyzed from the neck down? This is not just another crime story. This is a chilling reminder that sometimes danger doesn't come from strangers. It comes from the people we trust the most. This is the heartbreaking case of Amanda Williams, a 46-year-old hairstylist from Warrensville Heights, Ohio, known for her kindness, her energy, and her passion for making people feel beautiful inside and out. She was a mother of strong values, an entrepreneur with dreams, and a woman who worked every single day to build a better future for her children. But behind the smiles, behind the scissors and salon chairs, something dark was growing. The man she loved, Terrell Edwards, would be the same man to steal her life in the most violent and unforgivable way. A man who once stood beside her would later stand in court, facing charges for her murder. What went wrong? Were there signs? Could this have been stopped? Why did Amanda stay? And when the final moment came, why was she denied help even as her life slipped away? This story is full of pain, silence, and unanswered questions. But it's also filled with lessons about domestic violence, about control, and about how quickly So before we dive into the full story of Amanda Williams, her childhood, her dreams, her relationship, and the tragic day she took her last breath, we have just one question for you. Could someone you know be living a silent nightmare just like Amanda was? Before we continue, take a moment to subscribe to this channel if you care about real stories that deserve to be heard. Comment below and let us know where you're watching from. We love seeing how far these stories reach. And most importantly, share this video with someone, because spreading awareness could save a life. Welcome to True Crime Room, your go-to destination for chilling cases, unsolved mysteries, and deep dives into the world of crime. From shocking real-life stories to forensic breakthroughs, we uncover the truth behind the most gripping investigations. Step inside, explore the evidence, and get lost in the dark world of true crime. The case is open, and the chilling reality of the cases we bring to you every single day. Are you ready to investigate? Before we get started, drop a comment below. Where are you watching from? What are your thoughts as this story unfolds? Your voice matters. These are real people, real tragedies, and real lessons that we can't afford to ignore. Now, let's begin. Amanda Williams was born in a small town in Ohio in 1977. From a very beginning, she was a bright and joyful child. Her parents loved her very much and worked hard to give her a good life. Amanda grew up with brothers and sisters, and she was known in her family as the cheerful one who always smiled and helped others. As a young girl, Amanda loved to play outside. She enjoyed riding her bike, playing with her friends, and exploring the neighborhood. School was important to her. She liked learning new things and was especially good at art and music. Teachers said she was kind to other students and always willing to lend a helping hand. Amanda had many friends because she was friendly and caring. At home, Amanda helped her family with chores and took care of her younger siblings when needed. She learned early about responsibility and kindness. Her parents encouraged her to follow her dreams and work hard for what she wanted. Amanda listened carefully and dreamed about having her own business one day. When Amanda was a teenager, she discovered that she had a talent for hairstyling. She enjoyed creating new looks and styles, and friends often asked her to help with their hair. She practiced a lot, learning how to cut, color, and style hair. This passion grew stronger every year. After high school, Amanda decided to go to beauty school. She wanted to become a professional hairstylist and open her own salon. She worked hard and earned her license, making her family proud. Amanda's dream was not only to have a successful career, but also to make people feel confident and beautiful. Outside of work, Amanda was very close to her family. She loved her children deeply and was always there for them. She believed in being a good role model and taught them about respect, honesty, and kindness. Amanda was also active in her community, often helping with local events and volunteering her time. Her life was full of hope and happiness. Amanda looked forward to a bright future, but sometimes, even the happiest lives are shadows, and no one could have guessed what was waiting for Amanda in the years to come. After finishing beauty school, Amanda worked hard to build her career as a hairstylist. She opened her own small salon in Warrensville Heights, Ohio. Many people in the community loved going to her because she was friendly and skilled. Amanda took pride in her work and always made sure her clients felt special. She was known for creating beautiful hairstyles that made people smile. Amanda loved her job because it allowed her to be creative and help others feel confident. Over the years, her business grew, and she became a trusted name in the neighborhood. Amanda was also a loving mother. She raised her children with care and taught them important values. She wanted them to have a better future than she did. Amanda balanced her work and family life carefully, always putting her children first. She was involved in community events and often gave back by volunteering. Amanda's kindness and strong spirit made her well respected. Though her life seemed full of joy, some challenges were quietly building behind closed doors. Her story would soon take a dark turn, but her strength and love would never be forgotten. Amanda met Terrell Edwards during a quiet time in her life when she was focused on work and family. At first, he seemed kind and supportive, showing interest in her dreams and her children. Amanda believed she had found someone who truly understood her. Friends noticed her smiling more and thought love had brought her peace. Terrell began spending more time at Amanda's home and eventually moved in. The relationship moved quickly, and soon they became engaged. Amanda hoped this new chapter would bring happiness and stability. She believed she had found a partner to share her future with. Over time, some people close to Amanda noticed small changes. She became more quiet about her personal life. Though she kept working and caring for her children, she didn't talk much about her relationship. No one knew that trouble was slowly growing behind the walls of her home. Amanda wanted to keep her family together and stay strong. She believed things would get better with time. At first, Terrell seemed gentle, but his behavior slowly began to change. He would get angry over small things and sometimes raise his voice at Amanda. He became controlling, wanted to know where she was and who she talked to all the time. Amanda kept these problems to herself and hoped it was just a phase. She stopped going out with friends as often and spent less time outside the salon. People noticed that Amanda seemed more tired and quiet, but she didn't say much about it. She still smiled and did her job well, but something felt different. Sometimes Amanda's children saw arguments between their mother and Terrell. They were scared but didn't know how to help. Amanda tried to protect them from the tension in the house. She believed things would settle down if she just stayed calm and patient. Terrell would sometimes apologize after fights, promising to change. Amanda wanted to believe him. She thought love and patience could fix the problems. She didn't want to give up on the relationship. She hoped that by staying strong, she could hold her family together. But the cycle repeated. Terrell's temper became worse, and the calm moments didn't last long. Amanda never wanted anyone to worry about her, so she kept pretending everything was okay. She went to work, took care of her children, and held everything inside. Friends and clients began to worry, but Amanda never asked for help. She smiled through the pain, hiding what was really happening. No one knew how serious things were becoming behind closed doors. The signs were there, but Amanda carried the weight alone. She was strong, but she was in danger. October 9th, 2023, started like any other day for Amanda Williams. She woke up early, got her children ready, and prepared to go about her routine. She checked on her appointments and made plans for the day. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, but something was different inside the home that morning. Terrell Edwards was already in a bad mood. He had been arguing with Amanda more often lately. That day, the argument became more intense. Voices rose and anger filled the house. Amanda tried to keep the peace, not knowing this day would be her last. During the fight, Terrell grabbed a gun and began shooting. He fired 6 times at Amanda. Her body was hit 8 times, including in her neck and back. One of the bullets made her completely paralyzed from the neck down. She could no longer move or even hold anything. Amanda fell to the floor, unable to speak or call for help. Her daughter was nearby and tried to help, but Terrell stopped her. He didn't call 911 or do anything to save Amanda's life. He just let her lie there, helpless and in pain. Time passed, and Amanda's condition grew worse. Terrell later claimed that Amanda attacked him with a knife, but she was already paralyzed. There was no way she could have held a weapon. The story didn't make sense, and the facts didn't match what he said. Amanda was completely defenseless when she was shot. Neighbors soon heard the noise and called the police. When officers arrived, they found Amanda unresponsive. She was taken to the hospital, but died from her injuries. Her life was stolen in her own home by the man she trusted most. Amanda's children were left in shock. Her family and friends were heartbroken. A bright light in the community had gone out forever. After Amanda was killed, Terrell tried to protect himself by telling a false story. He claimed Amanda had attacked him with a knife during a fight. He said he shot her only to defend himself. But many people had questions. Amanda's injuries showed that she couldn't have held a knife at all. One of the bullets had paralyzed her completely from the neck down. That meant she had no movement, no strength, and no way to be a threat. The police began to look closely at Terrell's story. It didn't make sense. The evidence from the scene told a very different truth. Investigators collected reports, photos, and statements from the house. They talked to Amanda's daughter, who had seen part of what happened. She told them that Terrell wouldn't let her help her mother. That fact made the situation even more heartbreaking. Amanda didn't just suffer. She was also blocked from getting help. As more evidence came together, police saw that this was not a case of self-defense. This was murder. Amanda had not attacked anyone. She had been the victim of violence, and her life had been taken unfairly. Her community waited for justice. News of Amanda's death spread quickly in Warrensville Heights. Friends, neighbors, and clients were shocked. Many couldn't believe the woman they saw smiling every day was now gone. People gathered to remember her and share stories of her kindness. The pain of her death touched everyone who knew her. The city lost a talented hairstylist, a devoted mother, and a strong community member. But for her children and family, the loss was even deeper. They had lost the heart of their home. Now, the truth had to be proven in court. Amanda could no longer speak for herself, but the facts would speak loudly on her behalf. After Amanda's death, the community demanded answers. People wanted justice for the woman they loved and respected. The police worked carefully to build a strong case against Terrell Edwards. They gathered evidence, listened to witness statements, and reviewed everything from the scene of the crime. By early November 2023, a grand jury looked at the facts and decided there was enough proof to charge Terrell. He was officially indicted and arrested. The charges included 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of felonious assault, and 1 count of domestic violence. Amanda's family hoped this was the start of justice being served. As the case moved to court, Amanda's children and loved ones sat through painful hearings. They listened to details about Amanda's last moments. It was hard, but they stayed strong. They wanted the truth to come out and for Terrell to be held responsible for what he did. Terrell continued to say he acted in self-defense, but the facts told a different story. There was no sign that Amanda attacked him. Instead, the medical report showed she was helpless when she was shot. The truth became clearer with each day in court.
Phones are muted, turned off, and all those great things, and we appreciate that.
All right, thank you, everyone. Have a seat.
He is.
Okay. So we can probably bring him on in.
Bring it right up.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So a couple of things, right? I absolutely, once again, expect proper courtroom decorum no matter what. Sheriff's deputies are here. They're in charge of courtroom security. And if anybody does or says anything that impacts on courtroom security, they have my full authority to act appropriately, and I know none of you wants that to happen. So please make sure you keep that in mind. Ask all your phones be off and put away. Are you guys done, or are you still?
Oh, not even close.
All right. For the record, we are here in the matter of State of Ohio versus Terrell Edwards. Good afternoon, Mr. Edwards.
Yeah.
Mr. Edwards is present in court this afternoon with his attorneys, Mr. Petropoulos and Ms. Brenneman, and good afternoon to you both.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Filiatro and Ms. Graham are present on behalf of the government. Good afternoon to you both.
Good afternoon, Judge.
We are here in our case 686377 for sentencing, where prior date jury returned verdicts of not guilty to count one, which is the aggravated murder charge. But guilty to the remaining counts, which are 2 counts of murder with firearm specifications, 2 counts of felonious assault with firearm specifications, and finally a count of domestic violence. That was a felony of the 4th degree, I believe. Sound about right, Mr. Filiatro?
Actually, Judge, I believe that's a misdemeanor first degree.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, and can I see parties at the sidebar, please, real quick? Kelly, please. can you address the court with respect to the concept of merger?
Yes, Judge, thank you. Your Honor, pursuant to the statute 2941.25 requires that the court address, the prosecution actually address the issue of merger in this case. Your Honor, in this case, the state concedes that counts 2, 3, 4, and 5. So both counts of murder, both counts of felonious assault, as well as the count of domestic violence, will all merge with each other. The state elects to proceed to sentencing on count 2, that would be the murder A count, where the jury found that the defendant purposely caused the death of Amanda Williams. That goes to counts. I've got a separate situation with regard to firearm specifications.
If you'd like to make a record, you're welcome to.
I will, Judge. Thank you. Your Honor, as the court is aware, there is the case State versus Bowler. This is 171 Ohio State 3rd, 678, 2022-Ohio-4370, which requires the court to follow 2929.14B1G with regard to firearm specifications. And I'd like to read that into the record. B1G states, quote, if an offender is convicted of or pleads guilty to 2 or more felonies, if one or more of those felonies are aggravated murder, murder, attempted aggravated murder, aggravated robbery, felonious assault, or rape, and if the offender is convicted of or pleads guilty to a specification of the type described under Division B1A of this section in connection with 2 or more of the felonies, the sentencing court shall impose on the offender the prison term specified under Division B1A of this section for each of the 2 most serious specifications of which the offender is convicted or to which the offender pleads guilty, and in its discretion also may impose on the offender the prison term specified under that division for any or all of the remaining specifications. So, that being said, while the second count of murder and both counts of felonious assault merged with the first count of murder, the firearm specifications do not. So the question for this court today, the court...
Well, if I may,
yes,
perhaps that might be a time for that argument when you...
That's fine.
...in mitigation or in your portion of the sentence.
Right. So just to put the court on notice, we've talked about merger, firearm specifications are different.
All right. Anything else in my way of a preliminary matter, Mr. Pilantro?
One other thing, Judge. The defense filed a motion on March 8th, 2024. I don't know if you've seen this. This is defendant's motion to set aside verdict and enter judgment of acquittal pursuant to Criminal Rule 29C.
Did you have to walk through a copy of that?
I did not.
I have not seen it then.
Okay. So...
May I see it?
Yes.
Yes, please. Did you have sufficient opportunity to file a written response?
I have not filed a written response. I can respond orally today, or if the court would prefer a written response, I'm certainly able to do that.
Mr. Petropoulos, this is your motion. What would you like for me to know?
Well, just Judge, as the motion states, we're asking, based on Criminal Rule 29, for a motion after verdict or discharge within 14 days of filing of the sentence and entry. Of course, I did it quicker just because of the sentencing date, but basically the argument is that all evidence produced at trial from the video showing the long butcher knife, the forensic evidence all indicating, where it occurred, how it occurred, as well as what was heard downstairs by the only eyewitness. We think that when you look at that in the light most favorable, even to the state, that they have not met their burden, would ask the court to set aside the verdict based on that.
Mr. Filiatra, I don't know if you are prepared to respond. If you are, I'm happy to hear that.
I am prepared to respond to that, Judge. Thank you. Your Honor, the problem with the defense's motion is that a lot of what we know about what happened to Amanda Williams only comes from the defendant himself. Why do I say that? We've got video 1 that was taken at 11:31 p.m. Video 2 is 1 second long, taken at 11:32 p.m. Video 3 is taken at 11:38 p.m. So there are roughly 7 minutes of time in between the first video and the third video that we don't know what happened other than coming from someone who was there. And the only person who was there who can say anything about it is the defendant. So here's his real problem, is that he's not believable about what happened in those 7 minutes. The state needed to prove that he did not use self-defense. So the state needed to prove either he created the situation or added to it. He did not have reasonable grounds to believe he was in immediate danger or death. He did not have an honest belief of that, or he used unreasonable force. We needed to prove one of those 4 things. And his problem is, he gave conflicting statements on very key issues. In the zone car with Officer Vidic, he gives his first story. Her eyes got real red. I seen like a demon coming out of her. She got a butcher knife. I recorded her on my phone. Then she goes back downstairs. That is when I went and put my 2 guns in the car, thinking she is going to calm down. Then she gets the knife again, and he records her again. So what's he saying there in the zone car? In that 7-minute time frame is when he put his guns in his car. And later on, he says why he did that. He says, because I didn't want to use them. His words. I'm sure the court remembers this. The next day, though, everything's different when he's interviewed in the station. Now it's, she told me to sleep with one eye open, and she held me hostage for that whole time frame. And she reached for the guns. And that's why I took them out, because I didn't want her to use them. That begs the question. In the second rendition of what he says happened in those 7 minutes, when did she reach for the guns, causing him to take them down to his car, if she's holding him hostage that whole time? It doesn't make sense. Nor does the fact that him saying she held him hostage when she clearly set the knife on the ledge in video 1 and then walked towards him with just the lighter in her hand. Those are big problems for the defendant in his story of self-defense, which he gladly told over and over again to Officer Vidic, to Lieutenant Johnson, and then to the jury on the witness stand. The state's evidence against self-defense is the defendant's lack of credibility, combined with his strong desire for the police to go up there before Tyler went up there. You'll remember from Officer Cologne's body camera that he said, get in there, she wants to go up there, don't let her see. And the knife's still up under her. He says to Officer Vidic, She was holding the knife in her hand when she fell. We know from the medical examiner that is patently false, because one of the shots he fired at her went through her neck and caused her instant paralysis. She could not have held that knife anymore when she was shot at that very moment. Instantaneous. So there's no way she could have been holding that knife as she fell to the ground. There's no way she could have been holding that knife when she was on the ground. Yet that's exactly what he told police. And I will also point you to video 3 at the end of it. You don't hear a word from the defendant after he shoots her 6 times. You hear Tyler saying, "What y'all doing up there?" But you don't hear a word from him, and then you hear rustling. You hear movement. It was the state's argument to the jury that that's when he could have slid the knife right under her body, knowing exactly where it was to tell the police where it was when he was downstairs. Contrast that with Officer Jordan, who went upstairs and immediately went to help Amanda Williams and never even noticed the knife until EMS was up there. That is the difference between someone who cared for this woman and someone who purposely killed this woman. So, that being said, Judge, his self-defense was thoroughly defeated at trial, and this motion should be flatly denied. Thank you.
Well, the jury received instructions from the court, specifically as it pertains to self-defense. The court will presume that they followed those instructions, they rendered their decision accordingly, and I'm going to deny your motion for a motion of acquittal at this point in time. Going forward, for everyone's edification, Mr. Petropoulos, Ms. Brenneman, I'll first hear remarks from you with respect to mitigation. If there is anyone else who is here that you wish for me to hear from them on your client's behalf, in your direction. Next, I'll hear from the state. Mr. Filiatro, whatever remarks you may have, and anyone who you would like to have me hear from, that again will be in your direction. And then finally, Mr. Edwards, you'll not be required to say anything to me, but if there is anything you would like to say to me at the end, it'll be that final moment in time. With that, Mr. Petropoulos, Ms. Brenneman.
Thanks, Your Honor. Judge, preliminarily, Terrell Edwards, minimal record. He was working 2 jobs at the time of this, one at UH, and then he was also delivering for Walmart. 3 kids that are still minors, pays child support out of his checks every week, and a minimal criminal background. His father is here as well. There's a couple of uncles, and throughout this process, I think he, as well as his family, have conducted themselves a certain way. He stayed on the scene, talked to the police multiple times, and regardless of what is being said about it, it's sort of like he's being picked apart for different inconsistencies that we'll agree to disagree on, but he cooperated. When he was asked for follow-up information, he provided it. When he was indicted in the middle of one job heading to another, he still turned himself in within hours. So he's conducted himself a certain way. I think there has been a lot of misrepresentations about things in the past, from bond hearings where there was allegations of he stomped on her. I think the phones were going through for a 6-year period, and there was this allegation about sorry about kicking you in the face, which we know exactly what happened in that incident, and you know, it was not an intentional situation, and that's the only one. And Amanda was a strong woman, he knows that. And when, you know, they were reading about the battered woman, I mean, he responded, she would never go for that. And even at that, she says, "You got me looking like this." There wasn't a history of violence. There was things, we had a police report where he's getting his stuff, he's injured, they see a cut, he's not trying to prosecute, but, you know, he said what happened. It's not relevant to what happened in that room. And he didn't bring it up, not that day, not the next day, not when he came to my office to see me, would not have a bad thing to say about her. Even though the information that I got suggested there was some other stuff going on, not relevant to the case, and we try to contain it to what happened in that room. His family at all times acted dignified, not threatening anyone, not doing anything to anybody. I mean, I think we'll keep it that way. He's not going to speak today on my instructions. I am going to likely file an affidavit of indigency for terms of the appeal, just because he's been out of work now for 3 months, and I'll present that to you today. With respect to, you know, merger, I think obviously that's the case. With Bowler, we make the argument to you, Your Honor, that, you know, Bowler was a case where there was a plea of guilty. I think you have a 4-person Supreme Court majority that's being activist there, that is trying to say that conviction is something different than we've always said it is. But nonetheless, their holding is that conviction is being found guilty, and that you have to give them the 2 gun specs. We don't think it should apply to a situation like this because Bowler was different, but certainly I can see the plain language of Bowler requiring to go to that section. However, when it comes to murder A and murder B, felonious assault A and felonious assault B, I don't think that we should be tacking on 3 and 3 and 3 and 3. You know, I think Bowler gives the court authority tacking on 3 and 3 and 3 and 3. You know, I think Bowler gives the court authority for 6 years of gun specs. Probably, if you read it, you have to do that. But I think that that's the appropriate sentence in this case. I think to start tacking on for murder A, murder B, felonious assault A, and felonious assault B, which, by the way, that statute, subsection G, does not say specifically about being charged with murder and murder. It's talking about different offenses. And so I think the court should be contained to a 15 to life sentence and 6 years on the gun specs. I don't think that it would be appropriate for these charges to do more. And we would ask that you impose that sentence, and obviously not Terrell, not his family, not anyone is anything but, you know, devastated that a vibrant life was lost here. And you know, the position is the position, but he truly devastated by that loss of life, and that can't be minimized, and we'll absolutely not minimize it.
Right. Mr. Principals, I just want to make certain that I follow your arguments. I'm looking at 2924B1G. It starts by reading, if an offender is convicted of or pleads guilty, do you not think that this is a conviction now by your client? Is he not convicted?
Well, so what Bowler does is it says upon conviction, merger has occurred, and therefore, at sentence, the argument had always been, well, then you only are convicted of one thing. They're reading conviction to mean found guilty. So you're convicted of all the offenses. So now you're required under Bowler for the multiple offenses to give consecutive sentences on the two most serious gun specs. And what I'm saying is I recognize that's what they say, but that flies in the face of how it had always been done. And I think in Bowler, I think there was differences, and I understand that, you know, you read it, that's what it says. So likely you have to do that. But I would argue on that would be on the felonious assault and the murder. I think to say on murder A and murder B and felonious assault A, felonious assault B, I think that's a little different, and I don't think the statute clearly specifies the same offense, 2 murders, 2 felonious assaults. It talks about 2 of the other ones. So yes, clearly, based on that ruling, they're saying you have to do 2, but I don't think that it should be beyond that for 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of felonious assault, the same offense.
Thank you. There's no one else who wishes to address the court on behalf of your client at this point?
We've talked extensively, and I just gave the families, position that, everybody has been obviously devastated by this, and no one is going to do anything different than what's been done in the past.
Very good. Mr. Filiatro, I should also indicate for the record that I have received numerous, and I don't say that in a disrespectful way, but numerous letters on behalf of Ms. Williams and her family, which I have read each and every one of them, so I want to just acknowledge that I received and read those. And then, Mr. Filiatro, on behalf of the state.
Thank you, Judge. Your Honor, I'll begin by addressing the firearm specifications argument that the defense just made. Bowler is talking about what to do when offenses merge, but the firearm specification statute, B1G, says what it says. Paragraph 20 of Bowler. This application of the plain language of the statute furthers the apparent legislative goal in enacting 2914B1G and requiring that offenders like Bowler be subject to separate prison terms for multiple firearm specifications. The General Assembly appears to have acknowledged that the use of firearms in certain violent crimes should carry a hefty penalty. Paragraph 21. We note that 2941.25's merger provision does not override 2929.14B1G, as the latter is the more specific and the more recently enacted statute. Firearms and the use of firearms, especially in cases of domestic violence, which is what we have here, pose an extremely dangerous situation for people in those relationships. And that's exactly where Amanda Williams was. And the text message, and I'm about to read it here word for word, that the state brought up during the trial, shows that. If you remember, Judge, the defendant sat in the back of Officer Viddick's car and said to himself, "Why did you grab that knife? Why did you grab that knife?" Amanda told him why she grabbed that knife in video 1. "To defend myself," is what she said. And he sat there and said to this jury, I was never violent with her. He told the police all about things that she was like, never once mentioning himself as part of it. On November 27, 2020, she wrote a text message to him that reads as follows: "Every time I look in the mirror, I get angry all over again. To walk around looking like a battered woman is not only embarrassing but humiliating. To use your foot to do damage is one of the ultimate sign of destruction. And you complain about me being a strong woman. Well, if I weren't as strong as I am, I would have had you thrown in jail and exposed you to everyone." "No response needed," was her next message. His response was, "I'm glad we're both strong, and I hope you feel better. I'm sorry for what I did." He's not saying, "Wow, what a misunderstanding we just had." He's admitting he used his foot to cause damage to her face. His next response: "I just wish the love we say we have for each other would show every day unconditionally." And her response to that, and this is why he knows exactly why she needed to defend herself: "It will never be the same." And she had pictures on her phone of her face, pictures of herself in the hospital 2 days earlier getting treatment. You heard Tyler Williams' testimony. She did not know about the problems in their relationship. On that same phone, this happened around Thanksgiving time of 2020, she has a picture with her son, Amanda, and she has a COVID mask on her face. She hid this from her family, but he knew exactly what he did to her. And he can sit here now and have his lawyer say, "There's a whole different side to that story, Judge." But he sat there and told that jury, "I'm not violent with her." She begs to differ, still. So, that being said, Judge, I want to talk about what happened. This defendant shot her 6 times in her own bedroom. He did not need to. In his own testimony, he admitted that when she was looking down, hitting his phone, her attention was to the phone, not to him. He also said, "At that time, she did not pose a threat to me." He also said, and you saw the still frame that was on the screen when I was asking him those questions, he was on her side of the bed with the gun in his hand. You couldn't see it, but he said, "Yep, that gun is in my hand." And never once on that video did he say, "I've got your gun. Please stop." He did not try to defuse that situation. He had an opportunity, and he killed this woman. For that, severe punishment is needed. That being said, Judge, I have with me, as you can see, this courtroom is full of Amanda Williams' family and friends. You've seen the letters, many of them being her sorority sisters, community members. To say she will be missed in this community is an understatement, a severe one. To say she will be missed by her family is just not true. She won't be missed. She will be missed. She is missed. So, Judge, with me is Mr. Ian Friedman, who is the Marcy's law lawyer for the family, and I'd like to have him come up with, we've got a couple speakers, and then Mr. Friedman's going to read a letter from her adult son, okay?
Good afternoon, Mr. Freeman. Come on up here. Thank you.
Hey, how you doing, Judge? I'm Joey Lewis, Joeylewas, and I'm Amanda's brother. And Judge, I can't lie, we hurt.
So Mr. Lewis here, what I would say to you, and I'll probably say to others,
Yeah.
I can't imagine being in your shoes, right?
Yeah.
But I want you to know that whatever it is that you have to say to me, I know is important.
Yeah.
And so I encourage you to maybe take a couple of deep breaths.
Yeah.
And then
Let's go.
whenever you are comfortable,
Right.
I'm willing to take as much time as necessary
Right.
for you to be heard. Okay?
Okay. Right. Yeah, I'm going. Phew.
Here, I'll do it with you. Take a couple deep breaths. All right? Take a deep breath. We're going to hold it. We're going to let it go. Okay? So deep breath in. Hold it.
Yeah. Yeah, we heard, Judge. We heard.
One more time. Deep breath in. Hold it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was raised with her. My mother had 2 kids, me and her. Yeah. Yep. So she's like a second mother to me.
So here, if I can, just look at me and talk to me. Tell me about it.
Right.
Tell me about it. In your own words.
Yeah, so
But let me start by asking.
right, so yeah, look, yeah,
Tell me about you.
right. I'm her brother. She had a big part of raising me. She made me the man I am today.
What do you do for a living?
I'm in management.
Okay.
Right, so
Are you
yeah, I'm
in town?
yep.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm cool.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a big part of she's a big part of my life. We was raised with my mother. She had 2 kids. We both got grown, left the nest, and went on our own ways. Man, she was special. My sister did everything right in life, but running across the rail. Man, I can't imagine I can't even look at my niece and nephew too long. I can't imagine what they're going through. You know, they trusted somebody.
Right.
They trusted somebody, and this what he did. I've been around him a lot. I've been around him a lot, and I never. He a wolf in sheep's clothing, a little wolf. I didn't expect. I'm so glad I met him, so I could protect my daughter from people like him. He's very smart. He's a very smart dude. We're the same age. We talk. He's very smart. He can manipulate that situation any way he wanted to. And he did exactly what he wanted to do. Exactly. Man, I can't begin to tell you how special she was. I mean, people, she did everybody here. I can imagine them getting their hair done and not thinking about her for the next 10 years. It's just, he know what he did. And I know that, you know, I can't forgive him for this. I can't, personally. Because he's a man. I know how smart he was. I know he could have made the right decisions. You know, he could have been at Daytona Beach with his bike. He wanted to do exactly what he did, and that's what he did. And I am going to keep going. I mean, I beg. He gave my sister everything he had. He gave her everything he had to give her in that gun. Every ounce of it. Please give him what you got in your, or every ounce of what you can give him. He didn't give her no. How could you kill that woman like that, Terrell? Tell me, man. How did you do that to her, man? I just can't understand it as a man. I go through problems with my girl, but how a man can do something like that towards the person he's saying to love. He came to me, my sister she put together our family reunion every year. And I walk up and he pulled me to the side. As soon as I walked, he said, man, I want to ask you, man, can I marry your sister, man? Show me a ring. I gave him dap. I said, man, I'm rooting for you. I just had got engaged myself. And I feel bad. I feel like I'm responsible for a little bit of this. I put trust in somebody like this, man. I'm glad I had the opportunity to meet him, man, because I can protect the women in my family now and look at people different. Man.
It's not your hat to wear, though. I
Yep.
appreciate what you're saying, but
Yeah.
it's not your hat to wear.
I think he shouldn't have. I think that's why he stand up. He shouldn't have no problem doing whatever you got to give him. My great niece got to grow up. She was there. She told my daughter, they both the same age, 4 years old. I come home. My daughter said, damn. I'm sorry, excuse me. My daughter said, yeah. Tyler said her papa killed her G-Ma and she was in the room sleep. I say, damn, I can't believe that kid, 4-year-old, can understand something like this. But I need her to be grown enough before he get out, so she can process this and learn how to forgive, I guess, from this. I don't want her as a teenager getting out and all the going through life, and then something like this hitting to just make it that much worse. She need to be grown enough, I think, where she'll be able to understand it and be able to forgive. That's all I got. I mean, that's it. You know, Terrell, okay, I mean, you go do your time, man. You put yourself in this position, man. You know, we liked it you a little bit, but she liked it you, we liked it you. I tried everything in my everything to like you, man. And that's what you did. I think it's about to be lenient. You can't get enough time right now. Thank you for your time, Your Honor.
Thank you for
We appreciate it. All right.
I wrote everything down because I want to make sure I get every point.
You know what, we encourage you to, I know from when I read, sometimes I read a little faster than I was able to take down. So just kind of keep that in mind. Again, I know it's important that we're always going to do what you have to say, so just keep that in mind, okay? What would you like for me to know?
Honestly, I feel if anyone could take a person's life intentionally, should never see another day. And I would wish the death penalty, but unfortunately that's not here. So life in prison is best bet. I just can't stomach the fact that I have to live the rest of my life without my mom. My daughter has to live the rest of her life without her grandma because a coward wanted to take her life. My mom did not deserve this at all. My mother was a family-oriented person. She was my motivator, my best friend. She was the glue to this family. She was my guidance, my everything. I just can't live without her, and I can't imagine just living life without my mom. I can't never call my mom again and tell her I love her. I can't never call and tell her about my day, about how my daughter is doing, how she's growing up. I can't do that no more. He can do that. He can still call his mom. He can still call and check on her. They can all call and check and see how he's doing in jail. We can't get my mom back, ever. My daughter has to grow up without a grandma. She won't see her start kindergarten. She won't see her turn 5, grow up, be a teenager. She won't see any of that. I must be 30 years old, but I won't even be here to see that milestone. She won't be able to see my brother graduate college or anything like that. I can't believe she's not here no more. How can I ever explain to my daughter that my mother is never coming back? That's the one that she called her Papa, the only one that she knew, the only person that she was around for 4 years. How can I even explain that to her? And you said you never wanted me to be traumatized. I was traumatized the moment I walked in the room and see my mom lying there. And I was even more traumatized. I couldn't even hold her with her last breath. I just can't. It's not sitting right with me. I don't feel like anyone should be out here in this world if they kill someone. I don't respect a person like that, and I don't have any sympathy. This man never had any remorse for my mom at all. He didn't try to get her up. He didn't try to make sure she was okay. He didn't have no remorse or nothing, and I don't either. I don't think that he should have any time. He should be in jail forever, for life. And this is my beautiful, kind-hearted mother. That he just took a beautiful spirit away. She can't even finish her life.
Thank you.
Your Honor, we have one more. Thank you. Your Honor, as Prosecutor Filiatro said, I will, Ian Friedman, have represented the family pursuant to Marcy's law, and I was provided a statement from Amanda's son, Tristan Bentley, and so I've been asked to read it, and I will read it exact as presented to me. And it's entitled, In Loving Memory of Amanda Williams, Victim Impact Statement. And it says, firstly, I would love to thank the team of prosecutors for doing an amazing job in helping provide a sense of closure for my family. The impactful death of my mother was something nobody in the family could prepare for, leaving behind such traumatic scars. Being my mother's only son, we were very close, and I would tell her about everything going on in my life. She impacted a lot of my decisions. She was always there for me. She had unconditional love and support always. Our relationship was so strong. She taught me how to turn everything into a positive and to limit any negative talks. She lit up every room with her glow and positive energy. In ways, I made personal decisions that would make her happy, things she would be proud of, and things she did not experience in her life that I could introduce to her. I learned a million things from her, even if it was not an intentional lesson. She showed me what a sophisticated woman looked like in this world, how to maneuver through life while juggling your own business, while also showing me how to treat people you care about. As I grow older and continue further in my life, I realize that things will never be the same now that she is gone. Little things throughout my daily life impact me heavily. I cannot even listen to some of our favorite songs without crying. The heartbroken memories as I pass the places we went to from the time she visited me at school. With her being such a family-oriented person, holidays were very important. Now holidays just have an empty void without her being the light in the room. When things happen, my first thought is to call her and let her know what's going on. I can't tell my mother about having my best academic semester yet. I cannot tell her about the summer research program I got accepted to partake in. I'll never be able to buy her that new house I talked about since I was a kid. My mother won't be able to see me graduate from the Air Force Academy in 2025, a decision that she helped finalize. My mother won't be able to see me advance through my military career. My mother will never see me striving in graduate school. My mother won't be able to see me have my first child, who she would have embraced so lovingly. There was still so much knowledge to gain from her, actual life skills that I have yet to encounter outside of my school agenda. In my young 21-year-old life, my mother still had so much potential to see from me. Tyler and me, my niece, Tylene, however, that ability was stripped from her in the comfort of her own home. Today and for the rest of my life, I'm mourning the loss of my mother. Although my mother is so far, God willing, our bond will remain strong. This sentence in no way could bring back my mother's life, but it will keep the defendant from being able to commit any other nasty acts, such as the one that took Amanda away from everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Friedman. Anyone else at this point, Mr. Friedman?
If no one else from the family, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Mr. Filiatro, Mr. Graham, anything else on behalf of the government?
No, Judge, thank you.
All right. Mr. Edwards, I know Mr. Petropoulos rather indicated he did not wish to make a statement, but if so, is there anything you'd like for me to know at this time?
No, Your Honor.
So a couple of things. First of all, I believe because of the nature of this conviction, you will be required to enroll as a violent offender. I have a form here, which I'm going to read to you at this point in time. It reads as follows. You have been convicted of or pleaded guilty to a qualifying violent offender offense as defined in Ohio Revised Code 2903.41. You are required to enroll in person with the sheriff of the county in which you establish residency within 10 days of coming into that county, or if occupying a dwelling for more than 3 days in the county. You're required to provide the sheriff certain information, including your social security number, full name and any aliases you use, your residence address, information regarding the offense of which you were convicted or pleaded guilty, a description of any scars, tattoos, or other distinguishing marks on your person, the name and address of any place where you are employed or attend school, any driver's license number or commercial driver's license number or state identification card number issued to you, the license plate number of each vehicle owned or operated by you or registered in your name, the vehicle identification number and a description of the vehicle must also be provided to the sheriff. You are required to provide the sheriff fingerprints and palm prints. If the sheriff will also obtain a photograph of you at the time, so the sheriff will also obtain a photograph of you at the time of your enrollment. After the date of initial enrollment, you are required to re-enroll annually. You must update and or amend any of the above information described that has changed and provide any additional information requested at the county sheriff's office within 10 days of the anniversary of the calendar date on which you initially enrolled. If you change your residence address, you shall provide written notice of that change to the sheriff with whom you most recently enrolled and to the sheriff of the county in which you intend to reside. You are required to comply with all the above requirements for a period of 10 years. Since your last residence or your current residence is in Cuyahoga County, you'll need to register with the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Office upon your release. Failure to enroll or failure to verify residence at the specified times will result in criminal prosecution. This next paragraph, number 9, is really for you, but it reads, I acknowledge that the above requirements have been explained to me. I understand that I must abide by all provisions of the Ohio Revised Code, Chapter Sections 29 2903.41 through 2903.44. Any questions for me, Mr. Edwards, about these obligations? I am going to, with your permission, sign this form on your behalf. Is that okay, since you're currently handcuffed?
Yes, sir.
The last paragraph is really for me. It reads, I certify that I specifically informed the offender of their duties as set forth above. They've indicated to me an understanding of those duties. I believe that to be an accurate statement, so I will execute this form as well. I want to also advise you, because this case has gone to trial resulting in a conviction, you have a right to an appeal. I want you to understand that you have the right to an appeal in this matter within 30 days after the filing of the court's sentencing journal entry. I want you to understand that if you are unable to pay for the cost of a transcript, the record, and all relevant documents required for the appeal, it will be provided without cost to you. I want you to understand that if you are unable to pay for an appeal, you are entitled to have the notice of appeal filed without the payment of a filing fee. And I want you to understand that if you are unable to obtain counsel for an appeal, counsel will be appointed for you at no cost. Do you understand these rights which I've just provided you? Mr. Petropoulos, I think you indicate you'll have an affidavit with I will accept that affidavit and I'll sign counsel. You know, to say that this is a tragic case is an understatement, to say the very least. The loss to this family and the community is immeasurable, and there is no amount of time, in terms of years, that is in any way meant to or will ever equate to the loss of Amanda's life, and to do so or to try to do so really is disrespectful to her memory. I do find that counts 2 through 6 merge, and we'll proceed to sentence on count 2. The sentence on count 2 will be a 15-year sentence, or actually it's a life sentence with parole eligibility after serving the full 15 years. That will run consecutive to 2 3-year firearm specifications pursuant to 2914B1G. Additionally, I'm going to serve an additional three years of firearm specifications, again, pursuant to my discretion under 2914B1G. I'll not impose any fines. I will have them pay 1/2 of the court costs and proceedings. I'll still advise you that you may be subject to PRC upon your release. This will be for a mandatory period of 5 years. If you violate any rules and conditions of PRC, you could go back up for half your time. If your rule violation is a new felony, that time could be run consecutive. Anything else at this point?
No, Judge, thank you. Just to confirm that, then the total sentence is life with parole eligibility after 24 years?
Correct.
Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Petropoulos? Other than we give you correct time served?
Yeah. Should you specify what each of those 3 are?
I don't know if it's necessary pursuant to the statute. Again, I had the discretion to impose, but it's required that I impose 2 most serious firearm specifications, all the same 3-year firearm specifications. If it makes a difference for a review in court, I will merge the 2 firearm specifications for each of the felonious assault counts into 1 3-year firearm specification. But that'll run consecutive to the 3-year firearm specification on count 2, the charge of murder, and consecutive to the 3-year firearm specification on count 3, the charge of murder. Anything else, Mr. Petropoulos?
No, Your Honor.
serve Sheriff of Transport. Thank you. We'll be in recess.
All rise. Court now recess.
If this story captivated you as much as it did us, be sure to like this video. Drop your thoughts in the comments below and share it with others. And if you want more true crime stories that dive deep into the mysteries behind these tragic events, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications.